Hey everyone, I'm 32-bit Bandit and welcome to Assassin's Creed Odyssey. What? We're not in ancient Greece? No, but you all know exactly where we are. If you don't play Assassin's Creed and have never heard of anything about it, then we are in the modern world, which you will know if you watched the beginning of the series. You all know exactly where I am. Anyway, there's the Animus, which takes us back. In this episode, we're literally just going to be knocking about here for a bit and having a look what is here. So if you just want to get back to ancient Greece and you don't care for this part of the game, which I totally understand, then you can skip this episode and you will miss nothing at all. And to make sure you don't, the beginning of the next episode we will start here before we interact, so you literally will miss nothing. I start the episode here and I will end the episode here just before I go back. So for all of you who are going now, goodbye and thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you very shortly on the next episode. For everybody else, let's have a look around.
What?
Oh.
What?
Now see, that is a reference that I just don't get. I'm assuming, I mean, I recognise the little dude. I'm assuming that is also a Ubisoft title. But please leave a comment and let me know what that rabbit is. And if it is from a game, let me know if I should play it. Oh, it's Chikaros.
Eagles are fine and all, but a pet monkey would be even cooler.
Oh, behave yourself. I won't have smack talked about about Icaros.
The center of the universe, circa 400 BCE.
Now, I know I say this all the time, but look at that map, right? That is a massive, massive map. You would assume that the game would be a tiny fragment of that. I know modern games are big, and I know it's not the first big game, but it still blows my mind how big it is and how much we can do. Oh, where have I gone? Oh, oh no, what am I doing? Oh, okay. Come on. The Quebec caper. So Lila Hassan, that's us, isn't it? And then Victoria Bilbao, that's our buddy there. I'm in. How do you manage that? Let's just say I left a crypto key under the doormat in case Abstergo escorted me out. Was your hunch right? Yep, just in time. They have a location, Notre Dame de Quebec, but can't find the relic. I'm sure it must be there. Guess they don't have a Catholic on their team like you do. No way. Quebec City, here we come. Subject potential descendant. Recollects those who possess the ability of recollection. Recollection, come on. 15th century order of Franciscan monks. 1614, King Louis XIII requested that Samuel de Champlain take a selection of... Oh, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to read. Order was abruptly disbanded upon the return to France. Okay, tracing bloodlines redacted. Recollect friars. So then there's a bunch of people who have the ability to do it. Location, Notre Dame as we know. Operative summary. Search of cathedral, target item not found. Agents have their location under surveillance awaiting new intel. The cathedral... Oh, that's just a picture of the cathedral. Kiyoshi, area clear, slipped first responder. Nice work, media's got their story. Managed to get the gold paint off, okay? Oh, hang on, that's Lila, isn't it? I'm sorry. You can see that. Paint isn't a bother. It's the ringing in my ears. I can't believe you pulled that off. If you can't believe it in Golden Kyoshi angel flying overhead... Oh, if you can't believe in a Golden Kyoshi angel flying overhead, what can you believe in? I don't know who Kyoshi... Look, I am not... Again, if you... So anyone who's got Assassin's Creed deep cuts and knowledge... I mean, Kyoshi might be the biggest character. I just don't know. So please send me some abuse in the comments about how little knowledge I
Hier
have.
soir, un cambriolage a eu lieu à la basilique cathédrale Notre-Dame de Québec. Heureusement, les dégâts au bâtiment historique sont minimes. Le secrétariat de la paroisse rapporte que les malfaiteurs sont partis en laissant derrière la cible du vol.
Okay, so that's just the local news saying that it wasn't taken, right. Reality as a simulation. March 30th, 2018. Took a deep dive into theories about our reality being a simulation and ended up on the weird end of the internet. I'm just gathering information at this point. Not all that I have found has been useful. It's hard to imagine the world as we know being another layer of the animus, but it makes sense in its own way. 10 religious artifacts with supernatural powers, chilling top 10s. Miracles, just how real are they? These relics all have some kind of story attached to them, good, bad, or divine. Don't forget to subscribe for more lists that more lists like this. Follow our social media, buy some merch, relics, saints, top 10s, comment 1, cool video. Check out my channel, comment 2, in before the Holy Grail. Question mark. Secret Science Investigations, number 39, Ancient Greece. Secrets of Ancient Greece revealed. Atlantis, where did it sink? And can satellite photos help us find it? Don't miss, was Herodotus an Illuminati puppet? Hercules, or Heracles if you prefer. Man, or whatever's correct. Man or myth, did demigods walk the earth? Three-headed dogs, the Russian following in Demikov's footsteps. New studies. Pythagoras, what did he know? The founder of the popular theorem also believed that numbers were the key to unlocking the universe. Okay. So, so we have to keep this in mind. Was Herodotus an Illuminati puppet? Ah, see, that's completely because obviously we've got. Oh man, we've got the cult, obviously. So if there's another group, if the Illuminati are in this, and that's got me well excited. Okay, simulation theory. Hey, we are hive mind. I was in Egypt recently too, right? You were, but I wasn't. But I will be soon. I mean, not in the real world. You know what I mean. You know the game Origins. Anyway, I've got a lot to read. I was in Egypt recently and out with some friends when the topic of reality as a simulation came up. It's a bit tinfoil hat, but an interesting theory. Does anyone have any academic resources on this? Oh. Here's an article about that, written 2 years ago. You might want to read up on it. Oh, I know. Murakov's work with the same studies and looked into AI and transhumanism. He's the science guy. April Fools. Ah, damn it. Sometimes I think I'm living in a simulation. I'll set things down when they move on. You mean Windows? I can't see how I was in my Windows. Is your house made of Swiss cheese? Right, okay. So funnily enough, this reality as simulation thing came up absolutely ages ago. Obviously it's not a new theory, but I remember it took a new lease of life when The Sims came about, unsurprisingly. And they were saying because of the speed that technology progresses forward, eventually we'll be able to have sort of like a downloaded consciousness into the minds of Sims characters, sort of Westworld style, but on a computer game. And so the idea would be that because you would have so many people playing The Sims, so you'd have billions of worlds where they all think they're real, the chances that your world is the actual real world and not just a creation is so slim. The argument was mathematically we definitely are a computer. But I don't like it, so I try not to think about it. So thanks for bringing that up, game. I've got some bad news for Lila Hassan though. From Texas, USA. Candidate number 1. Speaks English and Italian. VG hand-to-hand. Oh, very good. Hand-to-hand and firearm skills. Undercover potential high. Tourist Attila Vatican. Not this time. Candidate number 2. A. Ryan. From Boston, USA. Speaks English, Latin, Ancient Greek and Sanskrit. Historian, rugby player, combat aptitude not yet evaluated. Expertise on ancient documents and church constructions could be valuable. Kei Takakura, from Osaka, Japan, speaks Japanese and English, very good at hand-to-hand bladed weapons and firearms. Former Yakuza, well that explains the hand-to-hand bladed weapons and firearms. Undercover potential with cooking gastronomic skills. Guest chef at Quebec City restaurant or food festival. That's a way in. Just have a former Yakuza pretend to be a guest chef. Yes, but make sure he doesn't overwork himself off a recent tough mission. And here we have the one who made it. Well, the one we've got here with us. From Quebec, Canada, speaks French and English. MD in psychiatry, PhD in neuropsychiatry, specialised in neural systems, approach to emotional memory function, personality structure and psychopathology. Left Abstergo after the Ascendance event, recruited by William Miles for unprecedented expertise. Assigned to mission, remember if you kill her, then you'll be unemployed. Okay, packing for Greece. Animus Controls prototype variant. Assessing extrapolated data. Extrapolated, come on. Subject descendant of Leonidas established. Oh, hang on. So VB, are you comfortable with that rate of accuracy? We're using centuries-old text to supplement the DNA memory from centuries-old blood. Understood. Berg has a problem with simulations lower than 80%. Berg has a lot of problems. Right, yes, okay, so that's us getting the DNA, isn't it, of Cassandra, of the spear. Officially Hellenic Republic, historically Hellas, first signs of human ancestors, successfully part of the Roman Empire, Byzantine, Venetian and Ottoman. Mountainous countryside called the birthplace of Western culture. I think that's probably true. Herodotus and his work. Okay. Herodotus called father of history, influential family. Herodotus was himself forced to go into exile in Samos, but then took part in a coup and overthrew Lygdamus. Studied and wrote history and travel books. So he's basically a bit like Bill Bryson. Gave public lectures, gained fame, and drachmae. A bit like Bill Bryson. Greatest work of history relies on interviews rather than records, which generally didn't exist anyway. Accuracy disputed, but influence undeniable, a bit like Bill Bryson. His work is credited with saving a mass of invaluable information of archaic, yeah, because he's an anarchist, of archaic and early classical Greece. His work is methodical and extensive. Reading is really difficult. He wrote about ancient Greece. He travelled the Black Sea, visited. True. There's some of his work that me just mumbling here. You mean there wasn't a tribe of cannibals in India who threw festivals? Let's hope his lost book doesn't include that kind of cultural glitch. From what I've been able to interpret so far, he does mention a group of ancient geniuses who sound suspiciously like the Isu. His lost book is supposed to contain the story of a heretofore unknown hero who was a descendant of Leonidas of Sparta. And we know the spear of Leonidas is an Isu artifact. Leave it to the father of history to connect the dots. Nice, so obviously in our world we know of Herodotus's work, but what they're saying obviously is there's a secret book of his that we haven't seen, which connects the dots towards the Isu. Spear of Leonidas, rumoured to be powerful and deadly hand-to-hand weapon. Isu technology, capable of multiple improvements. Unprecedented mental effects. Genetic memory storage, possibly passed down from Leonidas to his grandchild. Who is Alethea? I have no idea. So the Isu, aka precursors or those who came before, they're humanoid and they're ancient and they have triple helix DNA and 6 primary sensors. The Isu say they created Homo sapiens to serve them, and who knows if they're wrong. Abstergo classifies them as Homo sapiens divinus, though they waffle on about whether they're gods or not. Sometimes individual Isu say they aren't, but usually they act like they are. They like to give themselves god names anyway. Wait, weren't the ancient gods named after them? It's a sort of chicken and egg situation. We know that the Isu had other names before they took on the ones we know, like Juno was also called Uni. Or Uni. And just to check, Alethea's not a goddess's name, is it? You got it, boss. It literally means truth. But if you asked Heidegger, well, not literally, he's dead, it means the disclosure of truth. He dedicated huge chunks of philosophy to defining exactly what that meant. What's the short version? Alethea is unconcealedness, as opposed to correspondence, which is truth as accurate definitions of reality, or coherence, which is truth as statements that are consistent with the rest of reality. Okay, I think I'll leave the philosophy to you while I handle the tech. Deal? Works for me. Okay, so we haven't met her yet, but when we meet her, is that our mum? Oh, come on. I'm getting all lost here. The Capitoline Isu. So the next thing to realise is that there's Isu and then there's Isu. The main movers and shakers were the Capitoline Triad, Jupiter, Minerva and Juno. Those three were scientists who formed a team to save the world from being destroyed by a solar flare. They were like superheroes with ulterior motives. Jupiter and Minerva appeared to sympathise with humans, but really only seemed to make a move after the Toba catastrophe nearly snuffed us out. Juno was in it for the Isu, but mostly for herself. One of those world-saving solutions was the eye that killed Desmond, wasn't it? Exactly. It worked short-term, excuse me, but long-term seemed more iffy. If iffy is a word you can use when you're talking about the end of the world as we know it. Alethea did seem to imply that reality was shifting, or that multiple realities were shifting as calculations were made. I thought you were leaving me to... Oh, okay, so Alethea, again, I'm so sorry guys, because I don't know previous stuff. Alethea is obviously someone from the modern times, who is Isu. Juno, one of the most powerful Isu was Juno. Oh, what was Alethea? Oh, I'm so lost. She raised an army of followers trying to help her and her husband Aita get bodies. She wanted to move out of the grey, or a virtual existence, to some kind of spiritual tech hybrid afterlife. And the Phoenix Project was going to do just that. The plan was so dangerous that neither the Assassins nor Templars could take it on alone, so we teamed up for a while. Layla, I heard about your colleague Charlotte de la Cruz. I'm sorry. So am I. Weird question. So I know Mr. Berg used some special explosives to make sure there wasn't any DNA left. But wouldn't there be some trace of the Kohinoor? I mean, you'd think some shards of such a powerful artifact would have survived. Alana, when Berg blows something up, he blows it up with extreme prejudice. That site is sterilized. So another weird question. How did Kiyoshi, Galena, and Arad get away then? Too soon, Alana, too soon. Okay, so again, in the comments, anyone who wants to tell me who Kiyoshi, Galena, Arad, Juno, any of these people, if there's anyone who I genuinely need to know, but when they come up again, we'll, Hermes, the delivery service. I think fun fact here, the ancient god Hermes was actually named after the modern day delivery service, which was bizarre. Most people think it's the other way around. We don't know much about the Isu, except that he was one. The Greeks and Egyptians both worshipped him. His special followers called themselves Hermeticists. I'm going to go with Hermeticists. The god Hermes, particularly in the form of Hermes Trismegistus, you know, that word there, was all about magic and alchemy, and his staff the inspiration. Oh, I thought I had his staff for a minute. In theory, he met Pythagoras, who gave him the staff. We're betting a lot on that theory. We've extrapolated that the staff is the key to the Isu equations of reality theory. Based on the information we got from Egypt, the Isu are convinced that understanding the mathematical rules of the universe is the basis to changing it. Are you convinced? I'm convinced it might be true, and that's enough to make the staff very powerful and very, very dangerous. Yeah, so it's not mine, because I don't think my stuff that sets people on fire is the key to the equations of reality. It's just the key to the equations of setting people on fire. Oh, here we go, Alethea, thanks you. So who is Alethea? To right, who is it? She, that's a guess, I didn't record her using any pronouns, called herself that. She has a grudge against the rest of the Isu for their godlier-than-thou attitude. The Isu unified front showed cracks before, like that in the Minerva and Juno argued in front of Desmond, or when Consus reached out. I'm so sorry, I've completely forgotten how to read. Or when Consus reached through time to contact the assassins behind Juno's back. But this is a new level of insubordination. Hang on, the Isu unit. Right, hang on, I want to know who she is. I didn't record it. She has a grudge against the rest of the Isu. The Isu unified front showed cracks before, like that time when Minerva and Juno argued in front of Desmond, or when Consus reached through time to contact. Fortunately for us, Alethea seems to be on humanity's side. Yeah, she reminds me of Martin Luther, nailing his 95 thesis to a church door. Maybe this is the start of some great Isu schism. You've got a knack for naming things, you know that. Thanks, boss. Besides, she's a hacker, I like her. Right, she's definitely modern, she's definitely not anything. She's definitely not Cassandra's family. Hacking? Is that what she was doing in the retransmissions? Sorry, I realised that that's more my department than yours. You heard the voice change, right? That's when the retransmission got hacked, replaced right under the other Isu's metaphorical nose. How do you think she did it? Good question. If you want to brute force the problem, try all the security protocols until you find one that works. Then knock everything else out so they can't undo your work. Or if you're analog, get a stronger transmitter, Mexican radio style. Alethea's big adventure is having all of the time in the world to find a solution. Like Consus, she seems to be able to see multiple times at once and communicate across them. Or multiple realities. I only wish I could do that kind of multitasking. If anyone could, it would be you, boss. So again, I just want to apologise for mispronouncing a name every time. I still don't know how to pronounce it, but it must be annoying for you. Oh my goodness me. Okay, so we're going to take a break here, because we are going to go through it all. So we're going to take a break here. And at the beginning of the next episode, we're going to carry on exploring this world here. So thank you so much for watching and putting up with my reading. And if you watched this one and you watch the next one, then it's your own fault for putting up with it again. Like and subscribe if you like it and want to subscribe. And leave a comment if you want to leave a comment. Take care, and I will see you very shortly in the next episode.
She's been thinking about her future. She's been thinking about her past. Now all the nights are rushing by, and the daytime they ever last. Now all her friends are getting married, buying houses on the cheaper side of town.